Okay. Oh, there's Rob. Hey, good morning. Or is it afternoon?
Hi.
Hi, how are you guys? Hey, Rob, how are you?
Good.
Good morning, afternoon. Good
We
morning.
missed you.
I have 1 minute.
We missed you at Dupertai.
Yes.
Was that this morning?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was a good
maybe.
meeting.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay.
Why did I think it was tomorrow?
Judy was worried about you, but I'm glad you're here.
Okay.
I'm worried about me. Yikes.
All right. Well, Heather is gone and she's left me as the big cheese today, which is risky. Anyway, I thought I would share what we usually start talking about is some resources. Can everyone see the resource page? Yes, no?
Yes.
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 Okay, great. So I urge you to check it out on our page. It has a lot of things that other people are doing that you can learn from. It has calendars and it gives you some ideas. I would also say that with the Ken Burns documentary start beginning to air, I believe this weekend on Sunday, we might start to see more interest in 250. I feel like we've all of a sudden people are starting to talk about it and budget for it. So that's nice. And the one thing, I think there are other people waiting to get in. Let me just do that first. Okay, so we have more. We have a good group today. The one thing that the Community Foundation is starting to talk about and work about is some mini grants. And so if you go to the website a250friends.org planning, and then you can see that the Community Foundation is going to be giving out some mini grants. And those are the details are available here. And you can see that they're for different things, events and such. And then we have one specifically for the Dare to Declare program. Okay, and if you need anything, any additional information, please reach out to us. It's a very straightforward application. And they're small grants, but I think it will be helpful. The one other thing that we're busy planning for is we did these recording of the readings of the Declaration of Independence. Various people from different parts of Chester County came and read all or part of the Declaration of Independence. We had a grant from Carolyn Committa's office that permitted us to hire professional filmmakers and such. And it was actually an extraordinary day. We had a voice coach, and I was talking to someone yesterday, and they said it was interesting to not just read it, but to hear it read. It's everything we're talking about now. So we're planning to premiere these sort of red carpet type events at Colonial and at Uptown, and maybe we're talking about maybe Kennett Square. I have only seen the clip of the 16 Coatesville High School students reading it, and it's actually very moving.
How
And
long
one of
is the video, Angela? And is the entire video and it's the whole length going to be, at these other places, or is it kind of going to be clipped apart depending on who's being shown the video, or how's that? I'm just curious
both.
more about it.
So we'll have the high school students, to no one's surprise, read it in under 9 minutes. Um, but but one of the kids thought it was written 2 weeks ago. That's how relevant it all is. And then we're going to show the thing it's in its entirety, and I think it will probably take about 10 to 12 minutes, the entire video, but we're going to have other things that we're going to show. And then of course the outtakes and the short forms will be for social media platforms, that sort of thing, in answer to your question, Janine.
Okay, just wondering how that was all
Yeah.
gonna, and when's that
Uh,
rolling out, in the next month or two, or?
Well, we're talking about January.
Oh, okay, so it's next month or two. Believe it or not, I can't believe January is what?
January
Weeks away?
2020, January
Isn't that crazy?
2026. It's here at last.
Crazy. I know, I know.
Yeah.
So thank you for answering questions. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. And then, so you got the idea of the mini grants and the Declaration of Independence readings are, as I said, quite powerful. So now we're going to switch to making it all about you. So Anne, why don't we start with you? What are you all up to?
Well, we have delayed a little bit on our planning work because we had to get a survey done in the PMA property.
Oh, okay.
And because we only had a survey of the total parcel, which includes all of the other parts of the park, the battlefield.
So
and all that
just for
stuff.
everyone's benefit, Mark is talking about the Paoli battlefield in Malvern.
Right.
No,
We have actually, if we have two different parcels of land that connect. One is referred to as the Paoli Memorial Association grounds, PMA grounds. And that's where the monuments are and the burial site. And hopefully the new Heritage Center will be on that property. That's not owned by the borough, that's owned by the PMA.
Right, and that's who applied for the DCED grant, because part of the local share account is that whoever submits the grant or who receives the funds has to own and operate
Right.
whatever they're asking for funding for.
Right. And so the borough basically backed up the submittal of the grant to make sure that would happen if for some reason the PMA organization dissolved or whatever.
Mhm.
Because this is going to be a significant asset improvement on the property
Mhm.
and require continual update. There's also, we're waiting for the status of the grant that you just mentioned.
I was just going to say they're meeting on the November 18th, I heard, to
Great.
decide about the grants that are in this area.
Great. Well, that's on our agenda. Our next meeting is next Monday, the 17th at 5:30
Okay.
in Borough Hall. And on the agenda will be, now that the survey has been completed of just what we refer to as the Loop Road, the PMA grounds,
Mhm.
we'll be looking at all the improvements and additions of signage. Right now, we don't have a very good entryway signage, and we're doing that. And we've hired a firm, a landscape firm, to work with us, Thurikoff, and they're also providing some proposals with regards to not only the signage and location, but a pathway that could be established right at the top of the loop where the monuments are located off of the roadway. That would allow people with handicap issues to actually get up and read the signage that's there and read what's on the monuments. And we're going to refer to that as the Remember Paoli Memorial Pathway. Remember Paoli Memorial Pathway. And
Okay.
it will take you out to the second parcel of land that is adjacent on the eastern side of 40 acres that's owned by the borough, but managed by the Paoli Battlefield Preservation Fund in terms
Okay.
of what's on the property and how it gets the historical elements get communicated to the public.
I think that's such an opportunity for this 250 year is to better communicate our historic assets and and to leverage them against, you know, sort of tourism and, you know, visitors and our own family getting to know
Yes,
what's in our backyard.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm certain that's a really good point, because I think people kind of take it for granted that it's there, and it
Or
gets
don't
used,
know it's there.
even don't know it's there. That's true. But it gets a lot of use.
Mhm.
And you'll see people, using the loop road and parking there. And that means they had to drive from some destination. And the borough is not that big. Half of the borough can easily walk to that site.
And
So
that's what you want. You want people to walk from there to over to King Street, do some shopping, have,
yes,
you know, lunch,
yes,
whatever.
yes.
Okay.
So we have a very full agenda for our meeting, and we're also on the agenda, have an action item to pursue National Historic Landmark application for
Mhm.
the combined sites of the PMA property and the battlefield.
Oh, great. Really
Because
good.
it doesn't make sense to do one without the other, because they're both very, very tied together historically.
Okay, so Anne, how about we start with you, Anne Skillman?
So just for starters, I think, I don't know that I've met Janine, Mark, Beth I've met. I work for the Chester County History Center, and I am the
Oh, great.
community engagement officer. So I'm your resource for anything that you need from the History Center. If you need to explore our 100,000 photographs or 500,000 manuscripts, look at me as your concierge.
So Anne, maybe you could put your contact information in the chat.
I will do that.
Yes,
Okay.
that would be great. I probably wouldn't be the one that'll do that. We have our own historical commission
Right.
in the borough, and a person on the Lynn Frederick is in that commission. She's on the committee, and this is one of the areas that she's going to be taking the charge on, essentially.
Mhm.
And right now, the important thing is the borough council is supporting all of this activity.
That's wonderful.
Not only with commitment to back it up, like grants, funding and that type of thing, but we've also budgeted money that if we don't spend it this year, we'll roll it over to next year. And we may increase it based on the input we get from the landscape firm.
So again, it's about leveraging
Yes.
these assets.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, we've installed a new fencing in the battlefield. So if you ever get a chance to stop by, it looks to me really impressive and much more authentic than what we previously had, which was a low-level zigzag, and it really stands out. It's been relocated to be in a little bit higher plane, so that as you enter from the PMA grounds, you can see the whole panoramic of
Okay.
it.
Okay, so just to move I have iPad, but I can't see your name.
Margie DiPiano.
Yeah, I should recognize you by now.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so Margie, what's up?
Okay, well, this is a photo exhibit of early commerce that we're trying to put together. I've made contact with Kevin Freiberger. He's the natural resource manager at Waterloo Mills, which was the earliest commerce in our area way back when. And he's very much interested in in participating in the event, and hopefully we'll be able to include a shuttle from Hilltop House to the preserve.
So that is the classic example of something that it took me 20 years I've lived here for 35 years, but it took me many years to discover that place.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know about it.
It's so interesting. I brought my nephews because I thought, wow, this right up their street. The little
It's
store
right
and
there.
everything.
Well, Hilltop House is on the old property that was purchased by the Wilbur family, the the candy making people from
Chocolate.
Philadelphia. Yes. And a lot of people, and we had them at a photo exhibit like 10 or 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And everyone loved that shuttle back and forth.
Okay.
And the only problem we may have is that they're redoing some of the structures, you know, rehabbing or whatever they're doing. And I think there's either renters or owners that live in these places, and that the shuttled people will not be able to go in, which is fine. I mean, as long as they get the history, what that structure was for, you know, and that type of thing. So
So did
hopefully,
you send details of your show to us, and then we can post it for you? And
not yet, because we have a
Okay.
few other little issues to deal with. And one of them, there's a bit of a snag with using Hilltop House,
Mhm.
which that just kind of throws everything off the you know, bridge at that point. But I just heard about it this morning, so I'm not even going to discuss it, because we'll see what happens.
Okay.
You know, and but as soon as I can get that nailed down, the location and the timing and all that, I definitely want to get it advertised. And I
Okay.
believe, is it 100 words for the advertisement through the county? 100
I don't.
word. That's what
don't
I
know.
thought I saw. I thought, oh my God, you know, but we'll try to just do as much as we can. And then we'll do,
Yeah.
and we'll do advertisement, you know, at the township level also. We'll do all
Okay.
that when the time comes. And the other quick thing that I was able to touch base with is the Footlighters. They're a local theater group here in Berwyn, and they'll be happy to supply some actors dressed in period dress
Oh,
to
that's a great
mingle
resource.
amongst, you know,
Mhm.
the group or the crowd. Hopefully
I
there's
love
a
it.
crowd. So that's about where I am right now. And I love the information about the MIDI grants. That may help in a situation that I could see coming up. So in
Okay.
fact, I emailed it already to the township, the
Okay.
information.
And you know, we want to encourage people to do events and promote them, and also the Dare to Declare is a sort of one of those priority events for us. We see it as something that will really engage the broader population.
Yes, and the reason why we may not include that at this event, because the people are ongoing. They're coming and going to this event. It's not like they're there and they're
Okay.
just staying for the whole time. But there's other things
Yeah,
coming up
I
that
get
there
it.
may be an opportunity for that.
Angela, could I jump in for 1 second and just say one thing?
Uh-huh.
When you said county, I don't know if so Angela represents the Friends of Chester County 250th, a nonprofit. And
It's
then there's
easier to
also
say that Chester County Community Foundation is funding
Okay.
our effort.
Chester County, Angela will phrase it properly. I will not. So we'll just say that.
Okay.
But then there's the County of Chester that has a 250th commission. And I just want to make sure when you say county, like that you're directed to the right entity. And if you're interested in the Chester County 250th, you know, let me know and I can coordinate with that when you said the 100 words, but you might be talking about the community foundation, you know,
No.
Friends of. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure if you're interested, you can email me and I'll try to
Janine,
direct you to the right
why
people.
don't you put your information in the chat as well?
I will do that.
Janine is at the County Planning Commission. Okay.
Yes, I'm with the County Planning Commission. Thank you, Angela. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just
No
wanted
worries at all. That's what this
throw
is
in
for.
that
It's
as a
big
resource,
forum.
so
I was
thank you.
going to ask Rob Williams from Tredyffrin Township and my neighbor.
No, should I chat?
Yeah.
Oh, should I go ahead, Angela?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So yeah, several things. One, a connection that actually ties to several people on this call. So the reason I was missing at Dupertai House this morning is I was with the muster roll folks from the Valley Forge Park Alliance, giving them an update on 250 things. And at a minimum, they would like to connect Mark with Paoli, and I'm going to connect you two by email. They also want to connect with Historic Yellow Springs. They want to connect with the heritage centers nearby. So
That's
that's
great.
Dupertai House,
Great.
Paoli, and Historic Yellow Springs. And they also want to connect with you at the History Center, I'll write you a note. And the one that I didn't get to, but obviously is a tight connection, is Mike and Matt with the Pennsylvania Society. They want to make sure that they're connected with the right folks with the 250th. And what we spend our time talking about is what might they do special. And for those who don't know what the muster roll is, it's basically it's a service within the Park Alliance. And they have the list of people who were in the camp, either actual soldiers or officers, or people who were camp followers and at the Valley Forge encampment. So they have a great service. They have a great website. So I'll be connecting you guys. The reason we were together was a week ago, we had a meeting. The heritage organizations of Tredyffrin and Easttown, had a meeting with the TE school district about what we could do together. And that was a very, very good meeting. We had the 20 teachers from the social studies arena from K through 12. And so I'll be sharing some of the outcome of that meeting. So I know Stacy and Anna, you couldn't be there, but I'll make sure you guys know what came out of that. But there's a lot of interesting possibilities. One of the first ones was a tour of the historic sites in Tredyffrin. I think the same thing could be done with Easttown. We talked a lot about Easttown, so just want to make sure you are well represented. Angela, you might be able to speak some to Dupertai House, but Dupertai House is, like Mark, is moving ahead smartly. We got our, business, creation issues that we're overcoming, but the group there is working very diligently. I think they've got the right vision. They, instead of building a new building, are actually going to install their heritage interpretive mostly within the ground floor of the federal barn, but also
without
treat the
disturbing the
entire,
historical nature of it.
right. But they're going to treat the whole Chesterbrook, as Angela calls it, a campus. So that's coming. And then the last thing I got, I think, exciting news that the township is going to invest in America250. Principally, we have the reenactors that we've been proposing to come in September. There's a date for that, September 19th and 20th. British unit of 30 troops coming to Tea Garden Park, which is exactly where the British were 249 years ago. And Hugo knows that it's no secret now that in 2027, the British are going to be visiting Malvern. So,
Oh, that's great.
so
Right.
that's
So
it
I'm
for
working.
Tredyffrin.
I'm working with the Tredyffrin Dupertai Heritage Center group to raise funds to make these capital improvements to I do like the word campus, the federal barn and the Dupertai house, so that it's ADA accessible in terms of the bathroom. And really what's lacking is signage. People go and they, oh, isn't that a nice house? Oh, I can get to the trail from here. They don't know what happened there. And so that's the goal through signage, and hopefully we'll get a kiosk and we can create a heritage center out of the existing structures that are there. And we've been working with Miller Design on that. So if Stacy, did you want to add the Easttown portion of the Tredyffrin?
Yeah, we're in the process of budget discussions with the board of supervisors, and we're looking to get a $30,000 budget that would include swag and all good things for our community, including maybe a mural on one of the township buildings, as well as like mini flags, copies of the Declaration of Independence, different types of hats and things that can.
Stacy,
Yeah.
you might want to reach out to the Constitution Center for the copies of the Declaration of Independence. They're giving them away.
Oh, perfect. That fits perfectly. And like T-shirts and things that are appropriate and fun about Easttown 250. So we've been working with that, proposing $30,000 towards
this one year. So they seem receptive. Working closely with the Berwyn-Devon Business Association on different events through the next year, mostly in the spring and summer. And also, you know, again, just like what Margie said, like working with the theater and some of the other organizations that are in here. And then we have been working on this walking tour in downtown Berwyn. We have another one's kind of set up, and that has been through Meg and John and everybody at the Historic Society.
I love it.
As well as working with the Eagle Scouts to create these historic, like 4-foot markers that can get planted
With the QR code?
with the QR code, or with whatever it is that's going to connect them to the Izzy Travel app that will have all of the information. So I think a lot of that has already been uploaded, and now it's just a matter of like all the pieces coming together. Of course, school started, and my Eagle Scouts are busy with school and homework and robotics, and so we're trying to get them back focused on going and talking to the people that whose properties are going to be impacted by this, and where are we going to plant these. But so far, every person we've approached has been very receptive to having this 4-inch by 4-inch by 4-foot marker in their yard, knowing that it's part of a walking tour. So
Because in yeah, a lot of the like the general's houses, they're not open to the public. Someone's
Right.
living there.
And actually those are in Tredyffrin Township, but we've been
Mhm.
working with Rob, and we hired a student over the summer who did a lot of work on that. And so that is one of this Eagle Scout project for these historic, we're calling it historic markers, are really it's like 3 different projects. So it's like one doing the general's houses in Devon, one doing half of Berwyn, another person doing the other half of Berwyn. So I just talked to a second Eagle Scout who's interested in the second half of Berwyn. So I think once that gets going and they see what it's about, we'll get other Eagle Scouts that'll be involved with it. So it's been good.
And what I really like about that project is that it's ongoing, so it's not just for 1 year.
100%.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Leslie, your Chester County Concert Band? Leslie?
Yeah, I was trying to start it. Yes, I'm the president of the Chester County Concert Band. We are a large community band. We're based in Westchester, but obviously we perform all over. We are scheduled to be on the 4th of July at Wilson Farm Park, so we're very excited to be back for the biggest performance, you know, that we'll be having. So we're thrilled about that, but we are open to other ideas and venues. So if you have somewhere that you would like to consider the band to perform, you know, you can contact me. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. But we obviously are going to have a ton of patriotic music and all kinds of fun music available. Our spring concert, which is April 26th at Puget Middle School in Westchester, is going to be all American, you know, celebrating 250. So a lot of that music will then transfer right into the summer, as well as other, you know, music that we'll have. So yeah, so
Right, and I talked to Uptown in Westchester. They're just going to do both the music and the film for the American Songbook.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, Janine?
Pardon me, I'm with Chester County Planning Commission. A colleague of mine is the person who is, I guess, the official head of CC 250th. I've only been involved for a couple months now, so I'm just supporting it here and there as I can. CC 250th is the commission that the Chester County Commissioners created, for anybody on the call that's new. And there's, I don't know, 25 members, something like that, from various parts of the county. They're looking at doing a couple different projects. One project is this kiosk project, which I think Rob or Angela mentioned, and it's basically a digital sign, is the summary of it. And trying to have those, there was a grant through the LSA funds, and trying to have those connect in the county And they're looking at a couple other projects. One is a traveling exhibit. They're doing a video time capsule project, and probably one that's probably the most amount of outreach for people in general is walking tours next summer, an expanded set of walking
Town tours and
town
village
tours and
walks.
village walks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep it brief.
No, I think that the kiosk, the impact of the kiosk is sort of at the heart of all of this. What we're talking about is connecting. And I always say we're not going to be siloed, we're going to be connected, so that we draw people into our area, our economy, and interest in our historic assets.
And the town tours and village walks, we're trying to center it around, there's 6 major heritage themes in the county. There's something called the Heritage Interpretive Network, and we're trying to have town tours for each of the 6 major themes just to spread it around. 2027 will be more Philadelphia campaign focused, you know, in general.
And the themes are like agriculture,
Yeah, the
agricultural
themes
bounty,
are-
iron and steel.
Right. Do you want me to go through them, Angela? I don't know if there's
Yeah,
time.
please,
Really
please,
quickly.
it's helpful. Yeah, no.
One is agriculture and milling, and that's basically the agricultural bounty, and then the milling industry that raised up mainly because of the Brandywine, Red Clay Creek, and some of the other incredible natural resources we have. That really, those 2 industries really got Chester County in its started in industrial heritage, agricultural milling. Another one is natural landscape, basically the natural world, and then the preservation that's happened by stewards and nonprofits and governments in the last 30 years, preserving that land, both agricultural land and open space. And then another one is called Evolving Values, and that gets into a bunch of different themes. It's kind of a all-encompassing Underground Railroad, women's suffrage, the Mason-Dixon line, African American history, Native American history, you know, and clearly that's evolving. Why it's evolving values. The Philadelphia Campaign of 1777. One is another one, and that includes the whole Philadelphia Campaign, Brandywine, Paoli, Clouds, and also Valley Forge. And between all those actions and truth movements, that's easily a third, you know, of Chester County. And we're working with Delaware County and the Valley Forge Park on that as well. Then there's also iron and steel, and we've expanded that to industry and technology to take into account some of the other industries in the county. And another aspect of that is milling, not agricultural milling, but really textile milling. Bondsville Mill in East Brandywine Township has been preserved as kind of a preserved ruin, and that was a big textile mill. Most people don't really think of that as Chester County, but that's part of the history. And then last but not least is something called Arts, Architecture, and Creative Expression. And that gets into the Brandywine School of Art and some of the other artistic genres in the county. And then also just our wealth of architecture, our wealth of villages, towns, arts, and creativity. So we're trying to tie all those together, as Angela said, in looking at the sites that represent each theme, and then really what their visitor capacity is and how you manage visitor expectations with capacity. You don't want to send a tour bus to a site that has 2 parking spots, you know, and no staffing, because visitors will obviously be disappointed by that. But you can send them to Valley Forge, for example, or you can send them to Brandywine Battlefield Park on Route 1.
And not to alarm people, but not everybody's going to come on a bus. Somebody's going to drive, come up to have the farm to table experience, and then say, "Oh, this historic thing is over here. I'll go look at that." That's really the hope behind this.
It is.
The
And most people, I
interconnected.
think, and what we've talked to Conference of Visitors Bureau, and I've just talked to a lot of these heritage sites. Tour buses really aren't that popular of a thing anymore. Everybody talks about them, but most people don't want to experience places like that anymore. You really can't interact with the place on a tour bus. And our little windy roads don't work with tour buses. And also, understandably, property owners aren't thrilled about a tour bus, you know, on a lane and a half kind of road.
Be like
So
Ireland in 1970.
it would be like Ireland in 1970, yeah, and having a tour bus, you know, not really be able to go on the road. So it really is, as Angela was saying, it's all about connectivity, and it's all about something we call the local heritage economy.
Right.
How do you instead of starting with hotels, that sort of thing, instead of starting with like restaurants and kind of the traditional visitor situation, how do you start with this unique heritage we have in not just Chester County, but also we're talking Delaware County, Montgomery County too, but mainly Chester County, obviously for my purposes. How do you start with that and then build from there for the local economy? So thank you, Angela, for letting me explain all that, but it's really important.
I think it helps. Bertha?
Hey, Angela,
Thank you.
Angela, can I
Yeah,
just make a
sure, but
comment that
Rob.
Janine mentioned the traveling exhibit. The details of that it's produced by the county archives, and there is a schedule for when all these exhibits are going to be in the different municipalities. So I know at least for Easttown, the exhibit's going to be in the Easttown Library in February, and then it's going to be in the Tredyffrin Library in April. I don't know what the full schedule is, but all of you in Malvern, Willistown, it will probably be coming to a library near you. And it's being coordinated with the library staffs. So for those months, there'll be programming that go with the exhibit. The exhibit are 6 tall signboards with information on the 6 themes that Janine just mentioned. And so you can expect those in your local library soon.
Oh, thank you. So Bertha?
Thank you, Rob.
Yes. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone. Just basically, all I have to say, just listening to all of this, I'm happy that I'm on here. And we don't, when I say we, Mount Zion AME Church in Devon does not have a date yet for our Dare to Declare. So we just have to figure that one out and let you all know about it.
Okay, great. John from the high school? John Senior?
Not high school, Tredyffrin Easttown Historical Society.
Oh, sorry, I read the high
No
school.
worries. I have been in touch with Rob and Stacy and Bertha in our group. We're actually having a board meeting tomorrow, and a lot of this subject will be discussed there. But in general terms, we're still planning to support the exhibits that are going to be developed at Newport High, and we're going to continue to support Stacy's efforts with the Izzy tours and the markers and so forth, and collaborate and coordinate with the 2 historical commissions. And we're going to be programming some of our lecture series over the next couple of years with theme related speakers as we can find the right things. And we'll be trying to publish relevant articles in the quarterly.
Oh, great.
But that's our general thrust. We're continuing to be engaged and mostly coordinating with Rob. He's pretty central to keeping us connected, which is great.
As is my experience as well. Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael Whelan. I'm the president of the Pennsylvania Society of Sons of the Revolution. And I'm just going to mention a couple of things, and then I'm going to turn it over to Matthew Forrester, who is the chairman of our 250th committee. Rob Williams is very aware of this. Just last Friday, we were able to relocate a monument to the Gulf Mills area that had been relocated back in 1986 due to a PennDOT road widening project. And we have it now back approximately where it was and where it belongs to commemorate the encampment of the Continental Army before moving on to Valley Forge. So that was a monumental, no pun intended, effort to get that moved back to a proper location. And it took about 3 years of coordination to pull this off. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. And we're going to be refurbishing the monument in the spring. There's some of the plaques, there are 3 plaques on it. They're somewhat badly worn due to the weather. It's been there since 1892. So that was the first of our 250 activities that we were able to accomplish. One of the things that we are doing for next year, we're partnering with the Museum of the American Revolution, and we're going to be sponsoring 2 fellowships at the Museum of the American Revolution for those who are graduate students in archiving, and they're going to be working with the museum to archive both the existing and incoming artifacts that they'll be receiving over the next year.
Wow.
So that is one of the big things that we're working on. We're also continuing with our speaker series, and most recently we had the author of a book all about the Gulf Mills Monument, who is a former resident of Rebel Hill, and Rob Williams, I know, has the book and has finished the book, and we're doing a rededication of the monument on December the 16th, and we'll have officials from Upper Merion Township, their historical commission, and also representatives from Sunoco, which is the location, the new location of the monument, which is basically where it was about 45 years ago. We have some other things we do throughout the year. We have our speaker series. We will continue to do that. We do make that available to the public. We post that on our Facebook page. So for any non-members of the society, we do make it available for them to attend. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm not going to steal Matt Forrester's thunder. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt Forrester and let him tell you about some of the plans that we have for the next year and beyond.
Okay, Matt?
But quick question for Michael Whelan before
Yes.
Matt speaks. Are you familiar with the new book called The Threshold to Valley Forge? It's
Yes, that's the book. And we
Sheila
just had,
Vance.
yes, Sheila Vance was our guest speaker last week, last Monday to be exact. And she's now a resident of Washington, D.C.
That's
but
right.
she is going to attend the rededication ceremony on December the 16th.
Wonderful.
Are
Wonderful.
you going to promote that?
There's not a lot of room there.
Oh, okay.
There's, other than parking at the Savona restaurant, there's not a lot of room to park, but we will promote it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And it's only going to last because, again, given the weather in December, who knows what the weather will be like mid-December. But we will promote it on our Facebook page and let people know. And they're more than welcome to stop by, but it'll be a very quick ribbon cutting ceremony. And as I say, there'll be representatives from Upper Merion Township, their historical commission, and Sunoco.
Okay.
And,
Great.
and just for those who don't know, this book is called The Threshold to Valley Forge, The 6 Days of the Gulf Mills Encampment. So just
Okay, thank you. And
what's
Vance, the last name of the author is Vance, V-A-N-C-E.
Sheila
Correct.
Vance. Yes,
Okay.
and there's a lot of information about her also. But what's that date in December, Michael?
That's December 16th.
16th. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. How about you, Jen?
Oh, we were going to go to Matt Forrester?
Oh,
Hey,
sorry, Matt.
Hi.
I'm sorry,
Hi,
Jen.
thanks. No problem. Thanks, Mike, for the introduction. And yeah, I'd recommend Sheila Vance's book. I'll just give you one factual detail that came out of that meeting that we had the other day at Waynesboro, where Sheila Vance spoke about her book. And again, that's the encampment is for roughly the week or two before the troops moved to Valley Forge. So December of 1777. But one of the things that came out of that she's researched is that the first site of the first official Thanksgiving sanctioned in the United States by the government, that is. I mean, we may have had Thanksgiving ceremonies before that, including the famous one in Plymouth and other places. But the first one that was sanctioned by the government for the troops actually did take place at Gulf Mills. I believe there is a marker there that commemorates that was the site of the first Thanksgiving in the U.S. So, it's really important stuff that, unfortunately, since the signs are kind of so far out of the way, nobody sees them. So I think that's part of the impetus for moving the one sign. And so, again, we've got that ceremony coming up in December, as Mike mentioned. So, I'd say at this stage, we've been these meetings for us are important to figure out what other groups are doing. And I think we're in the process of reaching out to various other entities and organizations that might be interested in sponsoring events around the 250th. So we get an idea about what might be done and looking for ways to partner with other groups. We already have a dedicated membership. something like 1,000 people, a lot of those in the Southeast Pennsylvania and Lancaster County areas, but and even further around the state. But we have, a lot of people that, might be interested or have a vested interest in the Rev War events already. So this is something that we do all the time. We're looking at the moment to, I think we're trying to time box things so that we can begin to plan for events that are coming up more quickly. So the first one would be, of course, our speaker series is ongoing. So we do that every year. We have events, occurring throughout the year. And we do most of those speaker events at Waynesboro. But obviously the first one's coming up is the July 4th celebrations that are coming through. I think this year we're likely to plan that event around Valley Forge Park as opposed to Philadelphia, because we're not sure what kind of access we're going to have to our normal venue, which is in Washington Square Park down in Philadelphia. We've sponsored the Let Freedom Ring celebration for, I don't know, something like 50 years. It's been quite a long time since we've been the sponsor of that event. And it's a beautiful ceremony we've done every year. And I've gone down for the last few years when I've been involved with the Sons. But this year we're likely to do that at Valley Forge Park. And at the moment, I've been looking to see if we could do a Dare to Declare reading of the Declaration, but there's a little special twist to that, which is that because of me, basically, it's possible that we could get a series of youngsters, say high school students, a number of high school students that are all descendants of the Matlacks. And so Timothy Matlack Jr. was both the engrosser and scribe of the Declaration of Independence. And he, by numerous accounts of the day, is the first one to read the official document to the public on July 4th of 1776. And we would be able to, I think we're going to be able to gather 20 or so descendants of the Matlacks to read that document. I'm looking for children, kids. I can supply 2 of them myself because I'm a Matlack descendant myself. There's quite a few in the area. This was a family that came to New Jersey, really. They came to Haddonfield, but had long Pennsylvania and Philadelphia roots. They were Matlacks, they were Quakers. And there's quite a few out in the Midwest, and I've been trying to gather them. It's like gathering cats. The problem is, trying to get all these people to commit to coming to Valley Forge, on July 4th of next year.
That's actually pretty cool.
Isn't that really cool? I mean, it would be, 250 years later, here are, some of the young children of the descendants of this family. I think it's, awesome. So we're looking
Our hope for the future.
Yeah, no, here's what's happened 250 years later is that there's, tens of thousands of descendants of this family that are still in the area. And so I'm trying to gather them together to do that. And of course, I'll have to look at the Dare to Declare material a little more carefully so that we can just choreograph it and orchestrate the reading itself.
And use the Constitution Center and the Revolutionary War Museum as a resource for
Yes,
things
thank you.
like stuff, including copies of the Declaration and things like that.
Right. So that's one idea. The other part that I would really love to make happen, but it's a little difficult contacting him, but the author of this book is an Argentinian. He has Philadelphia ties as well as ties to the University of Pennsylvania. His name's Chris Coelho, but he's written the book that sort of laid this all out and did the research that said, yeah, it was Matlack that was the first reader of the Declaration of the Public, as well as the engrosser and scribe. So before they delivered the document to John Dunlap, the printer, there was a printed copy and maybe a handful of printed copies. And those were done by Timothy Matlack Jr. So it's interesting history, and he was a brewer by trade. So
of course he was.
Yeah, of course, right. And he was probably one of the more powerful politicians in Philadelphia at the time, as head of the Pennsylvania, what the Supreme Executive Council, I think is what they called it at the time. So anyway, yeah, interesting history. And he was known for his fine penmanship, which is why they chose him to, take the document from Jefferson and hand it over to the printers. Nonetheless, so that's one of the plans. Hopefully we could get the author here to speak as well about that event. I think that would be really cool. There is a recent book from last year on this, so would be kind of maybe something we can conclude within that Let Freedom Ring celebration, if you could give a short talk on this subject.
And for your Dare to Declare events, please refer to our website. We do have a whole toolkit about how to lay it out, where to get resources, things like that.
Right. So, and again, we're looking to plan and partner with other groups. So that's the important part of the outreach, to understand what else might be going on that we could partner with. And, I think for us, we'll have to look at the calendar. And of course, the interesting time, I think, for us is we're thinking about the whole event as, so there's more. That's not just a year, 250, maybe around 2026, but really for our area, the Pennsylvania campaign in Valley Forge was more about
goes into 78.
Yeah, 77 and 78. So we, and particularly September, where the Philadelphia campaign was raging, at Brandywine, at that Paoli, the Paoli massacre, at the events that everybody knows about. But those would be the ones where we could have a very busy time in the fall of 2027. Commemorating the 250th anniversaries of all of these events that took place. And later then in December, the Gulf Mills march, the march into Valley Forge. I mean, there's just a lot to talk about, and things that we could, I think, be more meaningful and impactful to the Pennsylvania Sons group, just because that's where those events mostly took place a little later. So
in the interest of time, I'm going to switch to Anna. Did you want to say anything?
No, I'm here to listen and find out what's going on and make sure that we're all good.
Good. And how about Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy. I actually am the adult program coordinator at Paoli Library, and I'm here to listen and get awesome resources and to just.
And did you want us to just briefly talk about what the library system is going to be doing for the Dare to Declare? I mean, for the 250 with the bells?
Well, we are still talking. Our library, we are super, super tiny, and our one meeting room can hold approximately 15 people. So trying to accommodate and find events and programming that we would be able to do. The library system, Chester County Library System, wants us to do a minimum of 3 events, excuse me, between the May 1st and August 31st. And part of that, of course, is Dare to Declare. And just trying to, for us, ourselves as Paoli, it's kind of challenging is an easy word to use, to be able to provide programming for that. So knowing that there's other resources that maybe we can look for that would be outside the library, like walking tours or, village tours. Anything that would make it interesting for us that we would be able to
I was
send
also
people.
thinking of the bells project. Each library is going to do a bell.
Correct. That's correct. Each library is going to decorate a bell. It's a 12-inch bell. We were supposed to have received it in November. We have yet to receive it. And each library, each of the 18 libraries within Chester County is to decorate it. And then people are asked to then visit each of the 18 libraries, and then they receive a sticker and a booklet and about the bills themselves. So I'm really here just to listen and get some ideas, and I really appreciate everybody and all their effort in their planning.
Amy,
And Jen, how about
before you leave, oh wait, because I have to leave right away, but Amy, I would be glad to talk with you about programs, because we do programs at Easttown and Tredyffrin, but I'd love to connect with you. Maybe we could come up with something.
Absolutely. I have your name, but I do not have your contact information in the chat. So if you could put that in there, that would be great. And I can, tomorrow we're at the library. Well, I'm not at work. I'm at home currently. And tomorrow the library is closed for Veterans Day and a staff development day, but I will reach out to you and to many people on Wednesday.
That would be great.
Thank you. I appreciate you and your time, and thank you. And
Sure.
John, I look forward to hearing from you.
Okay. Sorry to rush, but I'm looking at the clock. Jen?
I don't have too much to give you guys. So we did, I'm Jennifer McMenamin. I'm representing Valley Forge National Historic Park. I was a former employee hired back as the park liaison to work specifically on the 5250. Matthew Forrester, I sent you a quick message. I thought I heard you say something about reading and the declaration at Valley Forge Park. I put my contact information in there. Just want to kind of talk to you a little bit about that, let you know what the park is planning. Also, Montgomery County and Chester County are working with two experts, Emily Sneff and Lauretia Hawkins. We finalized a date for those Dare to Declare and Houses of Declaration readers to do kind of a training. The main training is going to be a 2-hour training on January 16th. And again, I'll put that information out once we finalize everything. But January 16th, we're going to do a 10 to 12 training and then a 6 to 8 training at the park. So in our meeting room. And then there'll be a follow-up refresher, I think in March. That'll be a 1-hour refresher.
Yeah.
And then the park is still, again, planning. Hopefully we were diving head in and we've got a good plan for the July 4th weekend of
But you
2026.
just got to get open again.
I know. So we're kind of at a little pause, but I'm still able to work. So I'm kind of filling in where I can in the background. Just so you know, we are focusing on that weekend. It's the park's 50th anniversary. We're the only national park to be signed into the National Park Service system on July 4th. So we're going to focus July 4th as the celebration of our 50th anniversary. The Park Alliance is doing a Dare to Declare house at the Maury Stevens house, which is in the park. And there's a couple other things, there's other things that are planned on going on. But that's what's kind of happening around the park for that. And then we will then focus our 250 will be March in of 2027 and March out of 2028.
Good.
Excuse
So,
me, Jen, could you put your contact information in the chat, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And then I see we have a contingency from Malvern. So did anybody want to contribute anything to the conversation? I'm thinking of Lynn, Hugo, Zane.
I
I'll
will
just
let
jump
the
in.
people from the Historic Commission.
Okay.
Our whole, I'm just very excited. I've been doing this with you for the last few months, and it's so exciting to see all these people on here and to hear what's happening in the area. And I'm just very excited for what's coming.
Great. Great.
Yeah,
you
and I'll say, for my part with the stuff that I'm working on right now in Malvern is that I'm actually working on stuff happening this year as opposed to next year. Getting the GoFundMe started for the Heritage Center on the PMA grounds. We also have Wreaths Across America coming in December, and other things like little things like that. Also with Historical Commission, we have our open hours on this Saturday, November 15th from 2 to 4 p.m. and also the third Saturday in December. So we have stuff going on right now, not even next year.
Okay, this is great. And Maurice, did you want to say anything? Okay. How about iPad 3?
No, thanks.
Maurice, you're there. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just listening in. It's great to hear all the hard work that's being done.
Okay. And iPad 3? Whoever you are. Well, I'm really appreciating all of you coming on this rather brisk day. I just to stay safe and honor our veterans tomorrow. Please remember to apply for your mini grant for something that you're doing, and tune in for the Ken Burns documentary. I think there's some things to be learned, and I'm hoping it jumpstarts even more interest in the 250 from the greater community. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Good meeting. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Angela.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.